Well, a very, very happy Friday, and welcome to another episode of the TNC Sports Talk. My name is Justin. Today is November 28th of 2025, and I hope everyone has had themselves a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you guys are still recovering, boy, man, sometimes, I don't know how you guys do it, but sometimes uh, you kind of get a Thanksgiving hangover, right? Um, just all the preparation, all the anxiety because you want everything to go right heading up to your Thanksgiving meal, from timing it just right when to start cooking everything. And then hopefully, then you just pray that everyone enjoys it. Um, you know, for me, it's also preparation earlier in the week. I don't want to overstuff myself. Now, I'm not the person like I once was who would want to go for five or six rounds because then I just do nothing but feel bloated. But there's a lot of responsibility to get everything correct because if you could get a home run with the turkey dinner and whether you bake or you deep fry, whatever the case may be, then I tell you, you're in a good position. You want to see the smile off off of your faces. So I kind of go in there, um, light eating. I got some room from snacks, and then you make your plate throughout the day. I'm not one of those people that say, "Oh, you can't touch anything, don't eat anything until dinner's ready." No, but you just kind of want to balance it out because you do make a lot, and well, I think the one thing that's worse about Thanksgiving is all the leftovers. And I'm not saying because you can't, or you could just make leftovers, or you can make turkey sandwiches, or make a turkey fried rice or something like that. That's all great, but it's where do you put it at? Because your refrigerator's full, right? So where do you put it at? So, but then you got to deal with the Black Friday, and it's a busy day, right? So busy day. But coming our way, our main topic of today is I wanted to make sure I got an episode today. I know it wasn't originally on the agenda, but I didn't get around to doing this on Wednesday. So I wanted to talk today about the upcoming WWE PLE and Survivor Series. It's taking place at San Diego at Petco Park during Thanksgiving week, which is tomorrow. War Games. You have two rings side by side. And you have a cage that surrounds both of them. You'd have about a 4 to 5 men or women team. This year will be 5 men and 5 women. Where the match begins, where 2 men start off in the ring. The winner, and then I don't know, I think every 90 seconds or 3 minutes, another one of the team members from one of the teams enters the ring, and they alternate until all members are in the ring. At that point, the match begins. And it's just simple. It's a wrestling match, and the goal is to win the match. And we've seen some crazy things. This has taken place over the last couple of years. I think it's a really good PLE. I think it's a really good concept of what we see here. Um, I know AEW kind of does their own little gimmick on it too, but this year we have a couple entrancing matches. Now, there's only 4 matches on the card. Doesn't need to be big because the point is that we'll have the War Games matches. So WWE Survivor Series War Games brings in heavy artillery: CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, and Cody Rhodes among major players in this year's men's War Games. The women's match will see people like Becky Lynch, AJ Lee, Rhea Ripley. It's really time for the All-Stars, the big dogs, to play. Stipulation returns for a 4th consecutive year as Survivor Series will take place in San Diego on Saturday night. Since 2022, WWE has replaced the traditional 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 Survivor Series match with War Games, a legendary stipulation invented by the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. We'll see Cody Rhodes in it this year. WWE top heroes have formed a loose alliance in their feud with Paul Heyman's Vision. Reigns was the most recent addition to the World Heavyweight Champion Punk's team. I guess it's Punk's team. Thought it was Rhodes' team. At least that's what was said on Monday night. Evening the scales after Brock Lesnar joined the Vision's troops. On Monday Night Raw before Survivor Series, Paul and Drew McIntyre earned the entry advantage for their team. Basically, what that means is that one member from Team Punk and a member from Team Vision would start the match off in the ring. Then we will see a person from Team Vision get an entry after the first 3 minutes or whatever. And then it will alternate. So Team Vision will have the upper advantage, and Team Punk will be the last team member to enter in before the match begins. Lee and Lynch rejoined opposing teams on the penultimate episode. Sorry for mispronouncing that. SmackDown, last week's episode of SmackDown. Their additions came after Charlotte Flair rejoining her team after patching things up against longtime rival Rhea Ripley. Survivor Series also features a temporary stop for John Cena's retirement tour as he defends the Intercontinental Champion against Dominik Mysterio. He won it back on the November 10th episode of Raw. Women's World Champion Stephanie Valkyrie has to deal with the Hall of Famer a Hall of Fame challenger when she takes on Nikki Bella. Bella turned on Valkyrie a couple weeks ago before saying she would not play second fiddle in her final run with the promotion. So, let's kick things off. I'm going to start from the bottom. We have Valkyrie taking on Bella. Bella's going nowhere. 3 months after a failed bid for the Women's Intercontinental title, Bella struck Valkyrie from behind. Her vicious turn sets the stage for Valkyrie's next title defense at a cornerstone WWE pay-per-view. You know, I feel like these moments and these spotlights need to be about giving back. And I feel like that's where it is. I don't know in the final run of Nikki Bella if she goes on to winning a championship. They're in San Diego. I think that has to play a little bit. Could we see a Brie Bella return amongst this amongst this final run here? And if so, when? I don't know. I think Valkyrie, unless she gets outside help, will retain the championship. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship. John Cena taking on Dominik Mysterio. Cena is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's the first 17-time world champion recognized by WWE. But until recently, he was not a Grand Slam champion. That's because he's never held the Intercontinental Championship. Until November 10th. Cena defeated Mysterio in the opening match of Raw to become a Grand Slam champion. They will have their rematch in San Diego, California, at Petco Park this Survivor Series. John Cena won that IC title, became a Grand Slam champion in Boston, Massachusetts, in his hometown. You feel like it's only right to see a return of favor. John Cena's talked about how the final run, he wanted to give some young talent opportunities to make a name of themselves through John Cena. And I think if you take a look back at this run and you go back and just watch and you review, I think that was one thing you would probably regret. There's not a lot of dates left, and there's not a lot of young talent you could get over in that time. Just because you name a tournament or you name an Iron Man match or whatever after you doesn't mean anything. Um, but I see Dominik Mysterio winning back his Intercontinental Championship. The only reason why I see that is Sheamus is no longer part of the last time is now tournament, as he's been dealing with an injury, got removed. And he is, I guess it's one of my things is where this is where Dominik shines. I feel like it only makes sense. But does it come at the cost of somebody interfering or even costing him a championship match? Could it be Rey Mysterio? Could it be the Judgment Day? Regardless of the factor is that I truly believe that Dominik Mysterio will win back the IC title. John Cena doesn't need the IC title heading into his final match unless he's planning on, giving it to whoever wins, whoever is his final opponent. I think wrestling John Cena is big enough that you don't need to put that title back on him, in my opinion. The women's Survivor Series match. Well, you have Team Rhea Ripley. She has Io Sky, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and AJ Lee taking on, I'm going to say, Team Nia Jax, Lash Legend, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and Becky Lynch. Multiple rivals have come to a head in this year's Women's WarGames. Ripley and Sky have been feuding with the Kabuki Warriors. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair has sparked up a fresh rivalry with the new tandem of Jackson Legend. After the match was booked, Flair exited from her team, claiming she couldn't trust Ripley. That leaves 2 spots to fill for Ripley's team and 1 for Jax. Flair and Ripley eventually patched things up, bolstering their ranks with AJ Lee, and then Jax had Becky Lynch. So everyone has a feud within themselves. What I see, though, is are they able to, is Rhea and, I think Rhea and Charlotte are the only 2 rivals on Team Rhea that has a little bit of beef that you may see unwind, and it may even cost a match, the match. But you highlight the feuds. I also highlight that AJ Lee is in ring action again. So this is a interesting pivotal point for me that I don't know who's going to win, but I do see, because I don't see a turn. I do see, I mean, is it time for someone to turn? Maybe Charlotte, maybe Rhea, maybe it's an accidental turn. I've been thinking about maybe who I think could win, and where do I even? I think you would get Asuka. I think you would get Team Rhea Ripley to win, because you're trying. For me, I feel like you're seeing leading up to a AJ Lee and Becky Lynch at Mania, where then Becky Lynch is the one to go over. That's my opinion. So I would say Rhea Ripley Team Rhea Ripley that could pull away for a win for this one. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and Roman Reigns taking on The Vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar. This comes after Seth Rollins received an injury at Crown Jewel. They move on without him, forming an alliance in the process. And so here's my thing. Last Monday night, I saw the difference of opinions. Cody Rhodes welcomed Roman Reigns to his team. CM Punk doesn't trust Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns says he's only on the team because his family is on the team and he looks out for his family. I feel like the house is so divided among Team Punk that I can see the Vision, Drew and Brock win this War Game match. That's why I was also so hesitant. I don't want two heels or two faces to go over in the War Games. I feel like it should be split down the middle. But I'm only, when it comes to the women's War Game match, I'm only looking in the viewpoint of AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. And it would be better if AJ Lee could have another win under the belt whenever being in the ring with Becky Lynch. And she's had one in this when they had the mixed gender tag team match, which would then encourage me to believe that between Asuka, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, somebody turns or accidentally it hits their partner and costs them the match. CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, but they would have to all get together to keep them together. But then if you have CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, and Roman Reigns win, where do they go from here? If they all lose, you have this Vision, Drew, Brock, they're all back at it. You create opportunities for possible championships over the next few months. That's where I guess my conundrum is going to be at. So I guess it's going to be interesting to preview. I kind of already took a look at some viewerships and some images for the setup. It's at Petco Park, and if you don't know Petco Park, it's in the Gaslamp downtown San Diego area. It looks like the arena where the arena is going to be set up where the entrance is going to be on the home field side, so the first base side. They already have those stages put up. And then the ramp kind of takes that L shape to the ring. That's going to be kind of hovering over second base. You have the canopy, whatever you want to put up, the gazebo that you put up there. And then you have, and it's all looking out to Gallagher Square out there in the park. So that will be open. And then you have the stadium to fill up. It's not as tall. The little gazebo is not as tall. I'm wondering if they're going to put any monitors, big, televisions for people to watch. But I just think it's cool. I like the idea of Petco Park. I know it's probably a weird site. It's outdoors, so hopefully the weather prevails this weekend in San Diego. But look, we're in the final stretch of the year, and for something to end off this year right, I think Survivor Series is going to be a hit. It has to be a hit. I mean, when was the last time San Diego? The last time I remember San Diego had a PLE was Extreme Rules 2008, I think. I think that was the year where The Undertaker lost to Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. We also had, that was when Jeff Hardy did the Swanton off of Umaga outside. Man, That's what I think. I think, if I'm not mistaken, did Randy Orton get hurt against Triple H for the WWE Championship that night too? I don't know. All right, I don't know. What do you guys think of Survivor Series? What do you? I mean, is there a lack of match on the cards on the is there a lack of matches on the cards, or is it just a right amount? Who do you think is going to win? Let me know down in the comment. Want to thank everyone for tuning into this quick episode as we just kind of touch bases with our WWE Survivor Series predictions and presentation. Please, if you guys, here's what I'll say. Want to thank everyone who's tuning into us on all of our audio platforms. Appreciate everyone's support. If you want, I will encourage you guys and ask you guys to head over to our TNC Sports Talk YouTube page. Check us out there. That's also where you can leave a comment and get back to us. We will read your comments on our episode at some point. And yeah, look, I had to get this episode out, so I wanted to make sure I get one out today. And so you guys enjoy. You guys, listen, it's a big sports weekend here. By the way, a lot of football going on, a lot of basketball, all that fun stuff. Wrestling on Saturday. SmackDown's tonight. The retirement tour continues. LA Knight takes on The Miz, who is replacing Sheamus. I don't know who the other one is. I think it's Jey Uso. Oh, I think Jey Uso's taking on somebody. Who is he taking on? Hold on. I know we have this somewhere, hopefully. Kind of all makes sense, right? I don't have my paperwork in front of me. We have Jey Uso taking on Rusev in single competition. Winners will advance to the semifinals of the tournament. So you guys stay tuned. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Take care.